Welcome to the Anything Goes podcast. I'm your host, Kombat AllStar, and today I'm going to be talking about Captain America: Civil War. I wanted to keep it in, but I can't. I mean, it's okay. I'm so excited. I just whew. All right, breathe. So, Captain America: Civil War. I waited until today to do it because I was trying to wait as long as I possibly could. I didn't want to ruin it for anybody. You guys, longtime listeners know when I review movies, I always wait until Monday. That way the movies, people have time to see it, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So same thing here, but this one I was so anxious to talk about and so stoked to talk about. And here we go. First of all, my impressions of the movie. I thought it was an amazing movie. I liked the movie a lot. I did. I'm gonna pick apart the movie and tell you my best parts, my least favorite parts, and the movie about overall. But this is an amazing movie. Everyone needs to go out and watch it. Now, for the more controversial part of it, I think people are gonna disagree with me here. But I honestly think that Batman vs Superman was a better movie than this, and I'm gonna give you my reasons why. My main reason for thinking Batman vs Superman was a better movie is because I feel like Civil War didn't commit. I feel like there was no resolution at the end. There were no consequences. It was just, here's the movie, here are the people fighting, and then it's over. Spoiler alert, if you didn't see the movie, you probably should turn this off. But at the end, Captain America goes to the underwater base that General Ross has, and Tony Stark is still working with the government, it looks like. So there's a lot. There wasn't really a resolution. They didn't come together to fight the bad guy at the end. They didn't put aside their differences. They didn't. There was no I'm right, I'm wrong. There was no clear winners. It was just, we're all going to fight, and then we're all not going to fight. And to me, their inability to commit and leave it open-ended like that kind of spoiled the movie for me. I feel like this movie was better in parts. The fight at the airport, Spider-Man joining Ant-Man. I like scene for scene. I think this was a better movie for breaking down the scenes. And I felt the same way about Batman vs Superman. Only because there were a lot of parts in that movie. There was so much going on that it could be, a couple of different movies, and there was a couple of different story arcs. And the movies were very similar. The government was upset with the quote unquote heroes destroying property. Batman vs Superman, he got called into the Senate meeting, and he was going to answer for destroying the property. They were going to destroying property and knocking down buildings, and then we're going to come to some sort of resolution. And Civil War, Ross came to visit them, and he actually had a resolution, having them join and be police officers or whatever. So they were exactly the same in that aspect. It was also, you had one main bad guy orchestrating everything, Zemo. And Captain America Civil War was orchestrating everything. Lex Luthor was orchestrating everything. And Batman vs Superman, he blew up the place, made it frame like Superman, blah, blah, blah. I mean, if you've both seen the movies, you can see that these movies were identical. They were almost identical. The only difference between Batman vs Superman and Captain America Civil War is Captain America Civil War referenced a lot of the previous movies because Marvel has built up their own universe, their own cinematic universe. So they reference a lot of the previous movies, nodded to a lot of the previous movies, in everybody's movies. So their reference material was straight cinematic, nothing from the comics at all. And then at the end, they didn't commit. They didn't commit to a clear-cut winner. They didn't commit to right from wrong. I feel like I left the movie and not even ending a conflict because they just ended the fight. They stopped fighting, and then it was the end of the movie, and I didn't feel like that was a real ending. It wasn't a real ending. Batman vs Superman, they didn't have the luxury. They didn't build up their cinematic universe like Marvel did, so they didn't have the luxury of referencing earlier movies. So what they did was reference the comic books, and 90% of the people, I'll say 70. 70% of people that go to movies and watch these comic book movies, these superhero movies, they do not read the comic books. So I've talked with a lot of people. I've talked with a lot of the fans of the Kombat AllStar show and the Anything Goes show and the Atomic Cast. And there were a lot of people that were just flat out lost. They thought there were holes in Batman vs Superman, and there weren't holes in Batman vs Superman. Everything is explained in the movie, but through nods and through referencing the comic book. People couldn't understand why Batman was using guns. It was like, this is the Dark Knight Batman. This is why he uses guns. His city was taken over. People couldn't understand why he was so angry. The graffiti written on the Robin suit in the Batcave, and nods to the Joker actually killing Jason Todd, and nods to that. I mean, the Killing Joke happened. There were little things like that in the movie, even when the flashback in the dreams where it referenced him going to Apocalypse. People didn't realize that the flying minions were Darkseid's minions. They didn't realize that. People didn't realize that the Omega Sign on the ground, that was him in Apocalypse. They didn't realize alternate universe. There was so much stuff going on in this movie that people did not know because they were nodding at the comics. There wasn't a previous cinematic universe being built. So, I mean, that was the difference between that, and then there was a real decisive ending in Batman vs Superman. The conflict ended, and the fight ended as well, and then it set it up for the next movie. It set it up for the Justice League movies, just like in Civil War. They also set up for the Black Panther movie, so they were similar in that aspect as well. It was both set up for a future film later. It's gonna come directly after the movie. So I mean, they were similar in a lot of ways, in all the ways that I explained, and even more that I may have forgotten, but those were the big similarities and differences between the movie. And I have to say, I like Batman vs Superman better because I feel like I got an ending. I got a definitive ending, a concisive ending, and there were no strings untouched. There was nothing left to the imagination. There was no loose ends, I should say. Captain America Civil War, a lot of loose ends. What's going to happen to Captain America's team? Are they still going to be hunted by the government? Did they reconcile the differences because of what happened? What's going to happen? Like, there were so many questions at the end of Civil War that it was not a complete ending. Batman vs Superman, there was no questions. We all knew at the end Superman was coming back. You saw it in the tomb, so he's not dead. You knew for a fact that Wonder Woman and Batman are going to find out who those other metas and form the Justice League. Again, very, very good movies, very similar in story, similar and everything. These movies were so similar to each other that it was great. I thought it was awesome. They used a lot of the same formula. It's just flat out good storytelling, and you can't beat that. My overall opinion about Civil War, I loved it. I thought it was amazing. I didn't think it was better. Obviously, I thought the movies were very similar in a lot of ways, and I cannot wait to see the next ones. I can't wait to see what Marvel has in store for us. I can't wait to see what DC has in store for us as far as Batman vs Superman. Both movies must buy, but since this is talking about Civil War, I'm going to go deep. I'm going to dig into it. I'm going to talk more and more about Civil War. First of all, let's talk about favorite characters. Favorite characters, definitely Ant-Man and Spider-Man. They brought the jokes. They were hilarious. I thought they were amazing. Another thing I really, really liked, Spider-Man's jokes were just great. He was starstruck the whole movie. I like how they had him in the movie, introduced him, he got his new suit, and now he can do his own movies. Very, very smart of Marvel to do that, because you don't have to worry about an origin story anymore now. You can just have it picked up where he left off. They can kind of explain things and cut scenes later on, and you got yourself a pretty decent start to Spider-Man without having to do an origin story. And we all know that they said that they weren't going to be doing an origin story for Spider-Man because he's already had a couple. So I can see how that's going to work now. Totally see how it's going to work. Black Panther definitely stole the show. He was the most interesting character ever. He had the most story in this thing as far as character building, a lot like what Vision did in the previous Avenger movie. Awesome. Ant-Man. I thought Ant-Man was great. He was also starstruck. Loved to see Captain America there, and he was awesome. So him growing big, him growing small, he used all of his powers. It was totally amazing to see Ant-Man just cut loose like that. And I don't know, they were awesome. Both characters were awesome. I love Spider-Man, love Ant-Man. Black Panther, they did a great job building him up. I mean, this movie set up a lot of characters. They set up Spider-Man, they set up not characters, I should say movies, feature films with other characters. So they set up Black Panther perfectly. They set up Spider-Man perfectly. They set up they set up the next movies perfectly, I guess. So perfectly that we didn't get an ending to this movie. I know I'm harping about that, but hey, my review. So yeah, this movie was a great catalyst to set up a lot of different movies, and it was awesome. Awesome writing, awesome acting. I can't say enough good things about this movie. You got to go see it. Even if you're not into superheroes, if you're into just good acting or good story, this is still a must buy for anybody. Must see, must buy, must collect, all that good stuff. So yeah, I mean, I guess this podcast isn't going to be too long winded, but those are my pros and cons about the movie. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was awesome. My gosh, man, I wish I had. Wish random girl had not been kidnapped, because I would love to have her opinion and have get her side of it. It's always better to me anyway, for me, just to kind of bounce ideas off of other people and see what they thought about it and their favorite parts too. So, but you know what? I got you guys. So please tweet me, leave a comment below, like, subscribe, share, talk to me about this, because I am so excited about this. I'm going to be talking about this for a little minute. So you'll see me talking about it on Twitter, posting pictures. I'm going to be talking about this because I thought the movie was fan-flippin-tastic. And I definitely give it an A. You know what? I'm not going to actually give it an A. I'm going to go ahead and give it I'll give it a B+, because there were a lot of things missing. I understand they wanted to build things, but to me, that's not kind of the way you do it. I always appreciate a movie that has a middle, beginning, and end. Even if it's a trilogy, even if it's a series of movies, I feel like it needs a middle, beginning, and end. Rocky, the whole Rocky franchise was great at doing that. Middle, beginning, and end, and you feel like you can go and watch another Rocky sequel to see what's happening. Creed was amazing. Every movie franchise should take a page out of that. There should be no reason to be continued or leave something open-ended. That works with TV shows, because you're going to see the next one next week. They got to hook you. They got to get more they have to get more viewers so they can get the new season going, get picked up and everything. But for a movie, it's unnecessary. And by the time the movie comes out a year or two later, it's like, I don't really care. I'm not as amped up about seeing the next one. So no reason for any open-ended endings or any unconclusive endings, I should say. So that's just my 2 cents. Solid B+ for the movie, not an A. But like I said before, I mean, you guys heard me rate Batman vs Superman. It got almost the same rating. Even though now I think that movie should probably get an A, because it had everything that Civil War had, except it had a good ending. It had a real ending. So what do you guys think? What are your comments on both movies, Batman vs Superman and Captain America Civil War? Which one did you like more? Captain America Civil War, what characters? What were your favorite characters in this movie? Was it Ant-Man? Was it Spider-Man? Who did you like? Who didn't you like? Let me know and comment below. And also, I thought that they kind of took it easy on each other. I know this is Marvel, they're a little lighter, but I didn't feel like there were really any stakes or consequences. But I digress. Like, subscribe, share, and let me know what you think in the comments. And until next time, y'all, so long.